Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail here with more Scrolls action where I am on the test server. Woo, look at the test server with its stats and not nearly as many people on. Oh my goodness, there's actually someone else right now. It's Handsome Jack. Hey buddy, how's it going? You'll see him on They See Me Scrolling and all of that. Unless I have completely the wrong guy. But yeah, this is the test server. And what we're doing today is not so much looking at all these things, including cars we haven't seen before. Today we are exploring a new mode, which is Judgement. Now this is something that you probably have heard a little bit about. We're just going to look at the quick tutorial of what Judgement is, how Judgement works, and Judgement is pretty much the Scrolls draft style where you get to select from various cards and then build a deck and then try and play with it. You get to keep it for 5 games, and then based how you do winning or losing, you actually get to keep cards. So pretty neat. Right now on the test server, the cost is 1 gold or 1 shard to create a Judgement deck. I don't know who would buy shards on the test server. Probably someone far more generous than me. But let's go ahead. Would you like to build a new deck or play with an existing deck? Let's build a Judgement deck. I am going to use 1 gold. I promise you it's going to be a lot more expensive. I think I've seen the price float around of 2,000. But this is going to be you making a 45 card deck, and you have from a list of 4 scrolls, 1 thing you can make, and you can see a little bit into the future of some cards you can get. And I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to try and do here. So right now, probably want to stick with cheapies. I don't know. Like I said, I just really don't know. Let's go with the Viscera Sage here. We're going to just try and stick with some decay early here. And now we have another option here. So Wing Shield, Death Strike. I mean, like I said, it's all commons and everything. Deck, and some of these cards I'm not as familiar with. So we're just going to go and see. Right now we have a few other options here. And Puppet Soldier is not... I don't know if the change is actually on the test server yet here. But we'll go with some energy as well. So we're going to be trying to focus on energy and decay here. It's an interesting combo. I don't know if exactly it's going to work out. I mean, the Law Memorial is kind of funny. And Sindri's good for taking out structures, and you're probably going to see more structures because the point of Judgement is that you're going to be playing some cards that maybe you won't necessarily play before. So Puppet Soldier, pretty nice. Let's see what's down here. Let's go ahead and get Puppet Soldier. Desperation, good card to have. Concentrate Fire, good if I can get some range units, but there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. Oh, there's a Scattergunner right there. So let's get Desperation. Let's get the Scattergunner. And like I said, these are not cards you get to keep. You lose this deck after 5 games, but at least for now, like I said, you get to see some cards that maybe we have not seen before here. So Rigged is good for destroying stuff. Metal Heart is an interesting card if you're playing a bunch of structures, which I'm kind of avoiding at this point. Cursemonger, on the other hand, a great option here. So Fury is good. Earth Scryer is a card that I haven't played with because it's on the test server. And I will be doing a lowdown on what the new scrolls look like and how they benefit each faction in some coming videos. But if its countdown is 2 more at the end of the turn, draw a scroll. So that's if you want to slow them down or something. Let's see. Clock Library is a good standard. Fury's pretty good countdown reduction, but it does cost 3. I think I'm going to go with the Scryer. And I'm going to go with Iron Whip. So what do you got here? Plating is kind of meh. Wicked Being, you know how I feel about that. It's kind of a crappy card. Just get some Dust Runners here. I'm running a lot of commons at this point. And here we go. Now I just kind of have to focus on what I want to do here. So we'll get a Blessing of Haste, because you don't always have all the fun options here. Cluster Hex is fun. Eager Scryer might be more fun. So here, Beetlestone, not a card I'm familiar with. It's a token. When another Beetlestone comes into play, Beetlestone is placed at the top of your library, and 2 damage is dealt to a random opponent idol. So that's interesting. Interesting enough to not play something like Erode. Well, I'm not really playing structures here. We'll get Beetlestone. We'll give it a shot. Magma Pack's funny. Arthritis kind of funny. We'll get Blightbear here, even though State Machine is interesting. When a creature comes into play on opponent's side, State Machine deals 1 damage to that creature. State Machine's countdown is 0. State Machine is destroyed. Interesting, but I think the Blightbear is more important here. Alright, so Magma Pack or Ripper. That's interesting. Kind of interesting art too, but Regeniture Not too fond of direct healing here, so we'll get a second Cursemonger. So we're at 17 cards in our deck. Anivore is a card that people seem to do a lot better with than when I'm playing. But let's see, we're just going to go with a Magma Pack. Maybe, maybe not. It could be interesting. Kind of just thinking about what I got here. Because most of my energy, most of it, I don't know. I'm not too huge on that scroll, so we'll go like this. And then Rat King, oh, that'd be fun, because if I won enough, I could possibly keep it. We'll go Spark. And so your Horn of Ages, all units control have their move decreased by 1 until the end of turn. Don't really want to do that. We'll grab a Pother, get a little bit of Order Splash. Thought Trap's interesting. Copper Automaton's good for a little more things here. And this is the fun part about drafting, is that sometimes you have to go, what am I gonna draw? I guess I'll get the Enchanted unit cannot be targeted by spells or abilities. Yeah, let's try and get Untainted. I don't know how it's gonna work here with the current stuff that I have, but you know what? We'll get some cheapy growth things here. Mangy Wolf, Scout Automaton, range attack, armor 1. All their automatons get attack +1. That could be interesting. Probably more interesting than a Ripper. Don't know. It's all interesting. Proximity charge. Meh. Let's do it. Blood Boil. Don't know. Vigor Extraction. That looks like a decay scroll, but it's not. Increase decay by 1. That's why. Okay. So I'm sorry, I just had to sit there and think about that for a second. I said not too high on Tick Bomb. Let's get that. Why not? Purification's interesting. Hymn's interesting. New Orders is interesting. It's all so very interesting. New Orders. Death Strike again. Deal damage to target unit. You can get decay out of it. Ildmire Tribesman. That's a really good card for 2, except that it's slow as fuck. Monstrosity. While there are any other monstrosities adjacent to Monstrosity, health and attack by 1 when there are any other creatures adjacent to Monstrosity. Health is decreased, so he doesn't play nicely with others. Let's get Death Strike. Anything that I can use to ramp up here. So let's see here. Miser's Will. I haven't really gotten a lot of poison. Let's get Machination Mindset, actually. And Blast Strike, once again, interesting. Direct damage. Probably better than Reginature. Have you noticed that I'm kind of terrible at building decks with places like this? Let's see here. Blood Boil, why not? Just using cards that I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. Catapult of Goo, I have not seen people play that card in forever. Gravelock Raider, the +1 Relentless. Blind Rage. Cost a little too much. Let's get the cheapie. This is where at 32 scrolls. I have no idea if what I've made is balanced. Dradic Power could be interesting. Let's go with Monstrous Brood. Creatures you control that share a name with target creature are destroyed and replaced by a monstrosity. Interesting. Probably a little more interesting than some of the other things here. Draining Mist. Not a bunch of cards that I'm really a fan of. Iron Ball is getting changed to have a lower cost here. I do think I'm going to have 3 Dust Runners now. So that's exciting. Draining Mist. Ilmar Witch Doctor. Why not? Maybe a little too expensive. So what am I going to do? Could get another New Orders, or could get Supercharge at the beginning of each enchanted unit's owner's turn. Enchanted unit makes a ranged attack dealing 1 damage. That looks like fun. Even though enchantments are supposed to be tear bad. And a Scavenger Construct is interesting. Transposition's interesting too, but I'll go with the Construct here just to try and have a wall or something. So let's see here. Berserker, would you like some making? Whatever. Clerks, if you haven't seen it, see it. So let's see here. We will get 1 State Machine, I guess. As now the cards are kind of falling down, down, down. Let's get a Vetter, why not? It's a tiny creature. All kinds of proximity charge. Apparently, this game really wants me to have proximity charges. So just a few more scrolls to pick. And I can win out of these scrolls depending on how I do. Let's hear Inferno Blast, Thought Trap, Ether Pump, as I know some of you all just feel terrible watching me pick these cards, screwing up what I'm making here. Get a second New Orders. and get a grizzly graft, I guess. Now, well done. Now build your deck. So here's my deck. Yay. Now the next question for this is that if I have all of these options, can I just actually grab all of these cards and drop them in here? I'm going to have to actually see how this works. Because I know there's the part where you get to pick your scrolls. We'll just try this real quick. Because it's just kind of like, you have to pick at least a few. I have definitely some cards that can be cut if necessary. Because it's kind of like you get a small amount and then you get a small sidebar. And I know it's not ideal to necessarily have everything in here. Let's see here. Let's actually clear the table. Because it should have actually have a limit here of judge test. Okay, deck limits require at least 30 scrolls. That's the answer to my question I needed to know. So we're going to go ahead and just stick with some of our decay, most of our energy. These cards are going to synergize pretty piss poorly with each other. Like, I should have gotten some more death strikes. Didn't really think about it. But that's why you have fun and you just learn a little bit. Probably don't want Ether Pump after all. Probably don't want the Raider Eider. Bleh. Can't talk. May not want that. Life Stealer's good. Those are good. Magma Pack could be funny. Brood could be funny. Puppet Soldier, not terrible defense. Scattergunner, Monstrosity. Scout Automaton. So let's see. If I get to choose one card to not have, there should be one that pops out at me really quickly as which one of these does not belong, and that one is going to be, let's just pick a card. I don't have a ton of humanoids actually, so the Witch Doctor's value kind of goes down there a little bit. But Rippers are humans, so you know what? Screw it. Let's get rid of Puppet Soldier. I know I just said that, so Judge ED. Great work. To begin using this deck, hit the Judgment button in the arena. So let's see here. This is unfortunately multiplayer, and I don't necessarily think we're going to be able to play. So I'd like to play a match. I have 5 games left. Am I going to be able to find someone else to actually try and play with? Will you play with me? No, he's probably just testing scrolls right now. But yeah, that's at least what Judgment looks like. If I can pull up a Judgment game from somewhere, that'll be nice. But that's kind of how it works. The deck building, the idea, the theory behind it. Part of the issue is that I'm on a very different time zone than a lot of the people who are on the test server. So right now, while they're comfortable in their beds asleep or whatever, I am here in the middle of the day taking a late lunch. But I'm just going to call that this for now. You kind of know a little bit how Judgment plays out, and then I'm going to try and do a Judgment video kind of in the future. Ooh, exciting. But that's it for now. This is Way to Fail. I guess that's all it's going to be for today, because I don't think the one other player that's online is going to accept anything. So, see you next time.